Oh no, it doesn't appear that I have a bottle opener. I'll have to substitute. Did I get any beer on the lens? So that will end the comedy portion of this video. Now we're going to get into the review portion.
I am drowning. There is no sign of land. You are coming down with me.
So I watched the second season of Agretsuko, and it's pretty good. I gotta say, in comparison to the first one, it's a bit of a step down. Not really because it's like lower in quality, but because the last 3 episodes feel extremely similar to how they ended the first season. They introduced 2 new big characters this season, and I really liked the one during the first half because he was funny and he was ridiculous, and I also felt like it was kind of a new thing. The second one is just kind of this chill guy, and he's not really an interesting character, and you come to pretty much the exact same conclusion with him as you do with the Space Cadet from the first season. The endings of the 2 seasons are very similar. They even make jokes about how similar they are. I personally found that the first half of the season was really funny, developed some characters that weren't that big in the first one, had some original ideas. I really liked the first half of the season. But yeah, the second half, I don't know, it's kind of boring. They repeat the Mr. Ton dramatic speech. They repeat the relationship ending at karaoke. They had a lot of themes about marriage and whether it's a good idea or not, and that was a little bit new. I mean, I don't think it's that unique. I've seen other shows do it well. In fact, I'll talk about another one in this very video that did it a lot better. I guess all in all, I liked it. It's just not really anything to write home about, at least not the second half of it. Again, the first half, I was completely down with where it was going. I liked that Christmas special they did. I really liked the new character. I mean, yes, he's extremely unlikable, but I found it very funny. Hell, I think they made, like, the most unlikable character on the show super likable. So that's about it. I just think the second half focuses way too much on a character that isn't interesting in the slightest. I get that some people like this guy. I mean, they didn't make him a huge douchebag. That was nice of them. But I do appreciate the BoJack cameo. That was intentional, right? Like, they're both Netflix shows. It looks like him. He has, like, the same coat and the blue shirt. Come on, that's BoJack. So I watch a show called Cuckoo, and it's the most fucking unfortunate story I've ever seen with a TV show before, because Andy Samberg plays the titular character Cuckoo, and after the first season, Andy Samberg went off to do Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so he's completely off the fucking show. They continue to do new seasons without him, they kill his character off, but they have to keep the name Cuckoo, even though that character has nothing to do with the show anymore. What a fucking unfortunate thing to happen. And it does affect the show too. I mean, season 1 isn't anything amazing, but I watched the whole thing. It's funny. I think as a standalone little series, the 6 episodes, so if you want something to play in the background, it's good. I had fun with it. The 2 main characters, Ken and Cuckoo, they have a good dynamic. They have a good little rivalry. And it's not as cliche as other father and son-in-law rivalries go. I think they actually pulled it off pretty well. It was pretty funny. Taylor Lautner comes in to take his place. He plays Cuckoo's son. His backstory's kind of fucked up. Oh yeah, and then I guess in the 5th season, I didn't watch that far ahead, but in the 5th season, Taylor Lautner's ran off too. I couldn't get past season 2. I liked season 1 fine, but yeah, like, the entire premise of the show was just completely stripped from it. I like the person who plays Ken. I like the person who plays Lorraine or Lorena. It's been a little while. I don't remember. They were both funny. I'd like to see them do other things, but you can't take the titular character out of a show. Even if it's not the titular character, I mean, remove Michael Scott from The Office, it's not nearly as good. Remove Charlie Sheen from 2.5 Men, I suppose it's not as good. I'd never even watched that one. Isn't it kind of like The Big Bang Theory before The Big Bang Theory was The Big Bang Theory? Like, that show was kind of shit on by everyone? I don't know. Shows are made with a main character in mind, and I feel like if that actor leaves, as unfortunate as it is, you just kind of gotta close it at that point because your show isn't really what it was supposed to be anymore. Season 1 of Cuckoo, good. Season 2, I did give it a fair chance. I watched like 4 episodes of the second season. I didn't like any of them at all. So I watched Moral Orel, and fuck, it's like probably one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. The first season's really silly. I mean, it's just kind of like a very basic formula that every single episode goes on. It's different jokes, but the same story every episode. That's what season 1 of Moral Orel is. He misinterprets something, he does something bad, and then he's lectured by his father, and there's a lot of commentary about society and religion, and it's good fun. Season 2 starts to break that formula. It builds up into something crazy for its season finale, and it's a very slow build up, but it's done super well. And the second season just becomes so engaging to watch because you're so interested in seeing how they're going to break that formula they set up in the first season. And they still do that formula a little bit, but like I said, the whole second season is about, going against your expectations from what you learned the show is in the first season. And then the third season just is like fucking crazy. It's like almost more depressing than it's humorous. Maybe not even almost, maybe it just flat out is more depressing than it is humorous. It's very much just telling a straightforward story now. It kind of does it in a weird order, but I think them telling the story out of order kind of worked. I don't know though. I kind of prefer just tell the story in order like Rick and Morty says, but in all honesty, like it didn't bother me. Maybe that Christmas episode in season 1 should have ended the season instead of opened it. But I'm pretty cool with how they did season 3. I enjoyed it. It's very interesting with season 3 because Orel isn't really even the main character anymore. I mean, he is like near the last few episodes, but season 3, it's like the entire town is the main character. I think my only other issue with the show is I'm really skeptical about one of the characters just because in the finale they make him seem like he's a decent guy. Like he's one of the good guys, They have a few characters throughout the show that some are revealed to be extra shitty, more shitty than maybe you thought they would be, and some actually turn out to have a pretty good heart. And for the most part, I buy all of it. But there's just this one guy who's kind of a piece of shit the entire show, and then the last 5 minutes of the last episode, he's kind of a decent guy, so the show kind of paints him as, he's one of the good guys. He's a fucking asshole throughout the whole show. I don't know if you can really try to sell me on that now, but it's not that big of a deal at all. And I mean, there's kind of an explanation for it. Maybe that's the kind of thing that maybe a rewatch will do me some good with. Moral Orel's just fucking excellent, honestly. I gave it a 9 out of 10, but I fucking might put that up to a 10 out of 10 when I rewatch it. I don't think it's gonna go lower. I genuinely a great experience with that show. I think it is better than most shows out there, to be honest. It knew exactly what it wanted to do, and it started building it up from the very beginning of the show. It's a slow build up, but what you get out of it, it's great. And I mean, I say it's a slow build up, but it's not that long of a show. I'd say like watching the entire series is like watching 2 movies. It's probably like 5 to 6 hours total. So, just watch one half of the show on one day and the second half of the show on the other, or split it up in 3 parts if you want. It doesn't take a long time to watch it. I kind of wish they would have gotten their 20 episode season 3 instead of the 13 one that they had to settle for, but luckily there's that prequel episode that came out in 2012 called Before Orel, which I feel like kind of filled in some of the gaps with what they wanted to do with the 3rd season but couldn't. I guess that's another quick thing, is they clearly had to rush a few things in the final season, but honestly it didn't even bother me. I feel like I got everything I needed out of it, and I feel like all things considered, they chose what to do with that time well. Yeah, you know what? Fucking Moral Orel, great show.